See the supercharged logo on there? See, it's ramping up right now. Whoa, 1451 watts.
What's up guys, Matt Tolbers. So today I'm going to review this Oukitel P2001. This has 2,000 watt hours of capacity, which is the biggest power station I've ever used. This also has a 2,000 watt inverter, able to run 2,000 watts of continuous power with a 4,000 watt surge. So I'm going to plug in a bunch of products that pull a lot of power. We'll make sure it can handle all of that. This thing also has a built-in power brick, which I love, so you don't have to carry around that big power brick like you do on most power stations. This also has a UPS mode that I'll demonstrate. And this thing also charges at 1,100 watts an hour, which basically will fully charge this thing in 2 hours or less, which is the fastest charging power station I've ever seen. So I think there's a lot of positive things about this power station, so let's test it out.
All right, so here's the power button. Just gotta press and hold it for a few seconds to turn it on. As you can see, we're at 100%, full bars. Shows 0 watts going out, 0 watts coming in currently, but it's nice that it displays all this information. Shows 99 hours remaining, discharge remaining. Now, if I was charging it, it would give an estimate on the charge time. And over here, we have our 12 volt, 10 amp like cigarette lighter, which is very useful. And then we also have this thing called, I think it's called an XT60, 12 volt, 10 amp plug. I don't know what uses that, but if you have something that uses that, you have that there. And then over here, we got two 12 volt, 3 amp barrel plugs. If you don't have an item that uses that and you just wanted to have extra like cigarette lighter things, you could get one of these attachments. So basically now I have an extra cigarette lighter attachment just like here. And you can also get a third one here. Now you got 3. So that's an option if you don't have anything that uses these barrel plug style ones. And then to turn it on, you just press the DC button. As you can see, it shows the symbols on the screen, the XT60, this 12 volt cigarette lighter, and then you got your barrel plugs all turned on. So it's nice that it displays what's on. And then to turn it off, you press it again. And over here, we have our USB A's. We got 2 regular USB A's. We got 2 quick charge USB A's. And then we got 2 PD 100 watt USB C's right here, which is really nice. Some are only 60 watts, so it's nice to have 200 watt ports right here. And you can just turn it on by pressing that. And then you can see it shows the USB light on there. So to show your USB ports are all turned on, you can turn it off by pressing it again. And over here we have a little light. You just press it once to turn the light on. Press it again. You got your SOS for emergencies. And then press it again, you got your strobe. And you can turn it off. And this light, if you were just running this light for whatever reason, this would probably run you for almost ever. So. And over on the side here, this is where all the AC ports are. So to turn it on, you just press the button, the AC button. You can hear the inverter kick on there. So we got 6 AC ports, which is super nice. That's the most I've had on a power station so far. They all have ground, which is also nice because I'm sure you'll be plugging in some big appliances to something of this size, which a lot of them have ground ports. So that's there. And then you can see now it shows that like sine wave little curve. So that shows you that the ACs are on. It is showing not 99 hours, even though it's not showing any output. I'm not sure why it's not showing output because it must be pulling some watts because of the fact the inverter is changing power from DC to AC. So you definitely want to turn that AC off if you're not using it. Now I turned it off. You can hear it kick off and that'll go back up to 99 hours. Now here on the opposite side, they have another door. This is where you charge it. This is your AC outlet plug you're gonna plug into, and then you got an Anderson plug here. So open it up, you can see, like I said, you can just plug in your little wall outlet plug right here. And you got an Anderson plug to plug your solar or your car charger right here. And it shows 1,100 watt supercharge, which I'm gonna demonstrate in a second. So 1,100 watts this thing will charge at from the wall, which is crazy. And it shows 500 watt max solar, which is pretty good. This thing also has an overload protection. So if this thing somehow overloads power or whatever, it has a mechanism that'll turn it off. And then if your power station isn't working for some reason, it might be because you need to press this overload button to get it to start working again. Now here's the top. So here's the little door. You open this little door and it has all of your cords, and these cords come with it. So here's your wall outlet to charge it via AC wall outlet. like I said, there's no power brick here. This is literally all you need to plug it into the wall. So this is just your standard like computer cord. So even if you lost this or whatever happened, you could just probably get, you know, any basic computer cord and you'd be good to go. And then here's your Anderson to your MC4 connectors. So you can plug this thing into basically any solar panels that have a MC4 connector, which usually can buy aftermarket even if that solar panel doesn't have one. And then here's your 12 volt like cigarette lighter to plug into your car with the Anderson plug, which goes into the side. So both of these are the same, and then the other one just goes to the AC one. What's really nice is you don't have to have one of those carrying pouches like most power stations that have a big power brick you have to put in there, and you got to put all your other cords in there. You just literally just put these little guys in here. It is a little tight of a fit, but you can still get them in there pretty easily. Just shut it, and now you can carry your cords everywhere you go. It does also have these two nice like aluminum heavy duty handles so that you can carry this thing with both hands, because this is 48.5 pounds, and it does have these like little rubber grippy things on it, which is kind of nice, because if you set something on top of this, or maybe you had a second one of these, you know, put it on top, it will keep it from slipping around. And I do like that it's flat, so if you were to put this like underneath a shelf or something, you wouldn't have that weird shape that it's like rounded like a lot of them, which is just wasting a lot of space. So it's really nice to have two nice handles on it to carry this thing around from moving it from place to place. Whereas you know, you can carry it with one if you got some decent strength, but having two just makes this thing in your power zone a lot better and easier to transport. Forgot to mention it does have like dual fans on each side. So there's one side, and your other side's got dual fans also. Here's the back. I do like that it says all the stats on here. 2,000 watt portable power station, model P2001, 2,000 watt hours of capacity. Your AC wall charger, 1,100 watts. 500 watt max of solar, and your AC output 2,000 watts. This has that UPS mode rated at 1,100. Here's the box that this Oukitel P2001 came in. This was not the outside box. There was a box on the outside that kept this box even safer. Got a little mark there, but other than that, it looks basically perfect condition. And pretty thick cardboard. And this is the inside. You know, it's got the styrofoam, then it was wrapped inside of this, and then obviously this styrofoam went on top. So I think most likely you will not have damage if you order this. All right, guys, let's plug this bad boy into some products that pull a lot of power, and let's see if you can handle it. All right, so here we have the Zero Breeze Mark II portable AC, which I love. If you guys want to watch a review on that, I will have one. So there, I plugged it in, turn AC on, hear it kick in. So it jumped up. It says pulling 3 watts currently. It does turn this on a little bit. So let's turn the power on, put it on boost mode, turn the fan speed all the way up. So it takes a little bit for this to kick in, and let's see how many watts this pulls. Well, it's currently ramping up. As you can see, we're up to 44 watts, 46 watts. All right, well, I've been letting this run for a few minutes. We're up to 182 watts, and it's blowing out 46 Fahrenheit air currently. It says we have 8 hours at this power pole, so this thing easily handles the Zero Breeze Mark II. This New Air shop fan. We'll put this bad boy on high, and it's pulling 89 watts. It says it'll run for 14 hours. This is another good option if you don't want to have a portable AC, to have something this large if you're doing some kind of like vehicle camping or something like that. I've actually had this on low in a small vehicle and been very cool even in a hot van. All right, let's see how much this thing pulls with 12 cups of coffee. So we're up to 711 watts. Well, the coffee maker's about done here. I put about 12 cups of water in there, so it's just over 10 right now. We're at 88%, and it's still pulling 700 watts. Now it just dropped down because the heating is done. So, well, the Oukitel was able to make a bunch of coffee for everybody. So now let's try the Keurig. All right, well, we're at 88%, and we're about to try this Keurig. I know this pulls a lot more power. We got some French vanilla. Here it goes. Now it's in its heating process. It looks like it's pulling close to 1,200 watts.
Well, the Oukitel Power Station handled this Keurig with no problem. So we got French vanilla if you guys want some. Well, now we're about to turn on my mini fridge and see how much power this thing pulls. Well, it looks like my mini fridge is pulling about 64 to 65 watts. It says it'll run 16 hours at this current capacity that's left, so no issues with the mini fridge. Well, it looks like we're pulling about 41 watts. It says 20 hours currently. And this is a very big portable refrigerator. So most of them would not pull this much power, but even at that rate, it says it'll last 20 hours. All right, so now we got an electric grill plugged in. Turn it on. Turn this bad boy up to 400 temp. Most watts so far, 1,218 watts. So you could definitely grill with this thing. Well, we were able to grill. Now let's see if we can make some toast with this double toaster. So I'm gonna turn one side on it first, and then I'll turn the other side on. So this should be the most power we've pulled so far. Whoop, gotta turn the AC on. So we're at 724 watts. Pull the other side on. Whoa, 1,451 watts. So it's saying it'll run at about almost an hour at this rate, but obviously the toast won't take close to that long. We also have that turned up too much. That'd be some burnt toast. Well, looks like it handled the double toaster, no problem. So we can cook in the woods. We got some toast here. Still at 81%. It's nice. Now I have my laptop and my iPad Pro plugged in. And what's nice is I can just plug this right into the USB-C. I don't even need to use this power brick because this would be less efficient, because if I had to use this and plug it in there, you're taking DC power, this is converting it into AC power. Then you're taking AC power and converting it back into DC power. So it's better to just use DC to DC. So we're gonna turn this USB on. We'll see how many watts that iPad Pro is pulling. Barely anything, around 9-10 watts. And now let's turn this back on. See what we go up to. The laptop's definitely gonna pull more because it's plugging into AC. Oh, maybe not too much more. Looking like around 25, 24 watts. Okay, we're getting little surges there. But either way, even at 81% at this rate, it's saying it'll last 22 to 25 hours. And with only that amount of pull, if you had a little bit of solar plugged into this, with 500 watts of solar, you'd be able to run these for basically ever. See, now it's really settled down to around 20 watts here. So it says 24 hours. So it'll last you all day here. And you could easily plug in a coffee maker and other things while you're using these products. And you could eat and have yourself a good time. So like if you wanted to charge this via solar panel, you just open this bad boy up. Take the cord, plug the Anderson plug into the side of the power station. Then you're gonna take your MC4 plugs and plug it into a solar panel. So this is my Bluetti PV200 solar panel. Like I said, this can take up to 500. This is only 200, so you probably want 2 of these at least, or you want their new PV350. But you just open this bad boy up. And this has the MC4 connectors on it. You would just plug that right into the Oukitel power station, like that. And now you just need to set this thing out in the sun. This thing can handle 500 watts of solar, but it's kind of hard to get exactly 500 because sun's never perfect and these things are never 100% efficient. So even at say 200 watts, this thing will probably average about 150 watts on a pretty sunny day. So if you had 2 of them, you had about 300 watts. So even at 300 watts, I mean, you can basically run, you know, computers and your basic things and keep it fully charged the whole day. And then at night, it would obviously pull in the power. But then if during the day, again, you weren't using 300 or 400 watts of power being pulled out, you'd actually be charging it while using your products. All right, well, now I'm going to demonstrate charging it from the wall, how fast this thing charges. What I like about the fact that it can charge this fast is, say you forgot to charge it the night before or something, or you get home from work and you're like, want to leave really soon when you get home from work. If you forgot to charge this thing, you know, some of them take 6 to 8 hours to charge, especially of this size. This thing charges in 2 hours from the wall. So by the time you get packed up and ready, you're good to go 100%. So let's plug this thing in and see it ramp up here. See the supercharged logo on there? See, it's ramping up right now. $1,100 watts. It'll only take 24 minutes to charge this thing back up to full. This thing does have those new lithium iron phosphate batteries, which are a lot newer of a technology, and it's a lot safer, and they also last a lot longer, so less likely for your house to burn down, and also you don't have to replace something like this as quickly, especially if you're somebody that uses these like every day, if you're doing some kind of vehicle camping or like RVing or something like that. Some of them, the regular lithium ion batteries only last like, 5 to 1,000 cycles to 70% or so, whereas this lasts 3,500 cycles. So basically by the time this battery's not working well, you'll be ready for a new one anyways. This does support pass-through charging, and this also has a mode called UPS mode. I think it stands for uninterruptible power supply, which basically means if you use this at home and you plug this into the wall, what you do is you plug your refrigerator into this, and say the power goes out, well, it instantly transfers from pulling the power from the wall to pulling the power from this. It's supposed to do it so fast that your refrigerator or your freezer will not stop working, and then hopefully your food won't go bad. Or if, say you have your computer plugged into this, your computer, your monitor, everything, well, if you're working on something and the power goes out, your computer won't turn off and you won't lose any of the information. Say you're sending an important email or whatever you're doing, it should keep running perfectly. So give you many, many hours, maybe a day or two to hopefully have the power come back on. So I'm gonna try to demonstrate this UPS mode. I do not have like a desktop computer. All my computers have like built-in batteries, so they won't stop working anyways. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna plug a toaster into this. I'm gonna have it's gonna do the pass-through charging, so it's gonna be using the wall outlet, but then I'm gonna unplug the wall outlet and see if the toast stays down cooking or if the toast shoots back up like normally when you unplug it. Now, since this is plugged into the wall and it's technically charging, I'm going to turn this on and see if it starts to do the pass-through charging without pulling power from this. So it shows input, it's going down. Output 800 watts. So now what I'm gonna do is unplug this while this toast is cooking and see if it stays down. Yep, it shows output 711 watts, no input. So basically it instantly transferred from doing the pass-through charging to this from the wall to pulling the power from this. The toast did not pop up, because normally if you unplug a toaster, the instant you unplug it, the toast will pop up. So let's try plugging it back in while the toast is still going. I'm not sure it's gonna happen. Sounds like something clicked over. Toast is still down. Yep, it's charging it back up and doing that pass-through charging. Very nice. As you can see, it still says 31 minutes till charge while pulling this. So there it is. So now it's going back to giving the full 1100 watts back to this, because it was only charging at, probably 400 or 350 watts, because this thing pulls about 711. So now it's back to only 13 minutes to fully charge. Well guys, my final thoughts on this Oukitel P2001 Power Station, as this thing is the beast. Can basically handle 2,000 watts, no issue. I did not try out the surge, but there are other people that have tried out the surge. It seems to work good for a few seconds to get that initial jump and then come back down under 2,000, no issues. So I didn't have to demonstrate it myself, but you can check out their videos if you want to see that. And I like the strain on it. I like it has two nice handles to it. I like it that it's boxy, so you can easily put something on top of it, or if you want to store this. I like the UPS pass-through mode, I like the UPS mode. I like the pass-through mode. And one of my favorite things is that 1100 watt charging time, 2 hours. So I think it's a really good power station. I think having 6 AC outlets, all these USB outlets, a nice little light on it, a storage bin. You don't need that AC wall brick to carry around. You got all your cords right here, so no matter what way you want to charge it, you're good to go. So yeah, I think it's a really good power station. It has those new lithium iron phosphate batteries, good cooling mechanism. I was actually surprised. Some of these power stations, especially when it's charging at 1100 watts, I didn't even hear the fans barely. It's like super quiet. Some of them are really loud. So I don't know, I really like that, and I think this is a good power station. So if you guys want to check it out, I'll have a link in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.